500 million years ago. The microcontinent was situated near the equator. The Western scientists called it Kazakhstania. The structure with almost full list of elements from the Mendeleev's table inside its depth. What secrets does Kazakhstan soil have? How rich is it? Natural resources are the history of our land for thousands of years.
Today in the program, mineral resources of South Kazakhstan. Bricks are the natural foundation of any building. What do we know about cement? The humans have started to use bricks a long time ago. Bricks are used to construct houses, office buildings, and social objects. Furnaces are made of it, and pavements are covered with it. The popularity of this very construction material is directly proportional to its safety, as it consists of natural materials that are clay, sand, and limestone. By the way, the most popular types of bricks are mud brick, fired brick, calcium silicate brick, and many others. And this is one of the human inventions suggested by the very inner nature of the Earth's bellows. The Russian word kirpich has Turkic origin. In Kazakh language, the word kir means edge, while pech is a furnace. The explanation is that Turks had long metallurgy tradition, and they smelted iron in furnaces made of fired bricks. Use of the latter in construction also dates back to very ancient times. Bricks can be found in Egypt, where buildings that date back to 3rd, 2nd century BC. Bricks play an important role in the architecture of Mesopotamia and ancient Rome, where people erected complicated architectural structures using this material. "40 kilometers away from the center of South Kazakhstan region, Shymkent, along the route of the ancient Silk Road, across the oldest city of Sayram, which once was Ispijab, one will find the village Koksyek. Previously, it was called Georgievka, and that was not by accident. One of the oldest churches in Kazakhstan is situated here. This is the cathedral of a great martyr, Saint George the Conqueror. And it is interesting not only because of being a cultural and spiritual monument. It was built in 1882 by Kazakhs who had moved from Russia. The church doors had been opened before the notorious 1937, when Soviet authorities started to destroy religious symbols and decided to demolish this church as well. It was not a surprise that even explosives failed to break the walls of this building. Believers called it a miracle, while engineers started to search for answers. It turned out that bricks forming the walls of the church building were made of special materials, and the key role belongs to the local clay, to which the constructors added egg yolk and lime found locally. Thus the church building stayed undamaged. Later, for many decades, this architectural structure had been used as a warehouse until a school was opened here. And today, after almost 150 years, the church again serves to people. And not far away from it, there is a spring. Long time ago, the constructors took water here to create a highly durable material. And now this spring helps believers to strengthen their health. The very history of how this part of the land was formed caused the local content of mineral resources, which the modern South Kazakhstan region is rich with.
Территория современного Южного Казахстана формировалась
The territory of the modern South Kazakhstan region had been formed during millions of years. Over 600 million years ago, the processes of sedimentation took place in this territory, which was a sea basin at that time. Hundreds of years later, this land started to elevate due to some tectonic changes happening inside. That was how the terrain was formed. It is well known that people use minerals to produce construction materials. The origin of these minerals is different, and the content of rocks formed by minerals is also different. For example, granite consists of 3 types of minerals that are feldspar, quartz, and mica, while lime includes only calcite. The content of rock is defined by the percentage of minerals. The sedimentary rocks are formed while other rocks are destroyed by natural forces. Depending on the formation conditions, there are mechanic, chemical, and biogenic deposits. Mechanic sedimentary rocks can be soft. They are sand, clay, gravel, and cemented that are sandstone and breccia. Sedimentary rocks of chemical origin were formed in the result of water substance salting. Among these rocks are dolomite, plaster, anhydrite, and calcareous tuff. Biogenic sedimentary rocks were formed in the result of living activity and death of organisms that lived in sea and fresh waters. For finishing works, sandstone, shell limestone, chalkstone, and diatomite. Metamorphic rocks were formed out of sedimentary rocks or rocks erupted under high temperatures and pressure. It is interesting that the structure of these masses changed, with chemical content staying the same. It happened when rocks moved from the surface deeper into the crust in the result of orogenic processes. Out of metamorphic rocks, marble and quartzite are more often used for decoration purposes. And it is important to say that mineral raw materials needed for production of modern construction materials are accumulated during millions of years. Today is the main treasure of South Kazakhstan region. Many deposits of generally used minerals are located here. And in addition to construction materials, these deposits contain marble, travertine, different types of lining brick, and bentonite. And of course, the properties of local minerals could not be missed by the ancient architects. Various types of clay were used to erect ancient structures, including clay with sand, admixtures, or so-called loam. Other components were also added. Different types of cement were also used, which is amazing. Different types of carbonate cement can be found. In particular, in Turkestan, they used unique fired brick for construction purposes. So they already used fired bricks at those times. They also used loam, a mixture of clay and loam, and they used fired bricks to build furnaces. As I understand, the bathhouse was built by using fired bricks. The people living in the territory of South Kazakhstan in ancient times already knew about properties and content of clay, which is one of the materials used to make bricks. And they found worth of note use for this widespread natural material. Clay is a fine-grained natural rock. In its dry state, it looks like a powder, and if being moisturized, it becomes plastic and flexible, able to take any shape. After hardening, clay becomes tight, with its shape being not changed. This material becomes wet quickly, absorbs water, and swells. At the same time, clay becomes water-resistant or able to prevent leakages. The main property of clay is its plasticity, an ability to take any shape easily. And today, clay still holds a special place among mineral resources of South Kazakhstan region. 72 brick factories operate here. This is clay, Langer high melting clay. There are 3 types of clay. The first type is low melting clay, which located on the surface. The second type is high melting, and the third type is fire resistant. Unfortunately, there is no fire-resistant type in the territory of the region. On the whole, the history of clay that can be found here in the region is very interesting. Clay is the first material a human being started to use when he got up on his legs. Humans cooked their first meals in clay pots, right? Using pottery ware. Then they started to fire it. The first roofing material was made of clay. That is why clay itself has a long history. And that is why we should respect this material. Needs of time and technical progress give opportunity to use mineral resources to produce more contemporary materials. Besides, the resources needed to do that can literally be found under our feet. In the regional center of South Kazakhstan region, there is a ceramic granite tile factory, the only one in the country. This is an artificial material used for interior and exterior facing of the modern buildings. The major part of the materials used for the production come from the local reserves. Ceramic granite is made of different types of clay, feldspar, and silica sand. The production capacity is near 2 million square meters of final product per year. There are 5 facilities in the factory.
Подготовительный цех состоит из отделов мельниц, из атомизатора.
The preparation facility includes mills and atomizing unit.
То есть мы смешиваем все эти компоненты.
By means of the mills, we carry out the process of grinding. It means we mix these components to get monotonous mass, which we call slurry. This is moisturized slurry. This stage is followed by the process of atomizing moisturized slurry in the atomizing unit, from where we get a mass to mold ceramic granite. Molding facility is the next stage after the preparation facility. The main formats we produce are tiles 60 to 60 centimeters and 30 to 30. Near 75% of the production volume is the 60 to 60 format. The next stage is glaze coating. We cover tiles with glaze to protect them from chemical and physical damage. Firing is the next stage after glazing. Firing process is a special part of the production process. Modern furnaces cannot be compared with those used hundreds of years ago. The furnace is over 100 meters long. It fires tile under the temperature of 1200 degrees during 65 minutes. Then the finished product goes to the sorting and packaging facility. The total annual production volume is 2 million square meters per year. 30% out of them goes for export, while 70% stays in Kazakhstan for internal needs. The main countries we export to are Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. In Kazakhstan, almost all of the regions need the product. The key consuming cities are Astana, Almaty, Shymkent, Aktau, and Atyrau. The construction of the second factory is now undergoing in Aktobe. If everything is okay, the factory will be launched next year, and we will enter the Russian market. The current production capacity is 2 million per year, and this volume is not enough. There are a lot of consumers, and demand is high. That is why we need to build factories, and we hope that all needs of Kazakhstan will be covered, so that we can export to the Russian market then. Among clay deposits of South Kazakhstan region, a special attention should be paid to bentonite. This mineral is of a clay origin. It swells when contacting water. Depending on domination of one or another chemical element in its content, the mineral color can be yellow, brown, gray, green, or blue. Bentonite possesses unique properties and can be even used in food industry.
Вот этот невзрачный минерал, то есть невзрачное сырье, это бентонит, знаменитый.
This seemingly unattractive material is bentonite, but it is really famous. Actually, it is used in many fields. The school books usually say there are 200 fields where this material is used.
Бентонит сейчас в большом количестве применяется при бурении.
Currently, bentonite is used during the process of mine drilling. In order to lift the extracted material up to the surface, the specialists produce a solution made of bentonite. This is the first.
Бентонит, это одно. Этим сырьем
This raw material was used to purify oil, wine, and other oil products. This material is very low melting, and if we take keramzit, you remember it right. Keramzit is made of this bentonite.
вот из этого бентонита.
South Kazakhstan region possesses one more powerful raw material resource. The fact that 3 cement factories are situated here is caused by the fact that loam and sandstone deposits are located here.
Главное богатство нашей области – это
The main treasure today is mineral resources used to produce construction silicate materials.
какая область имеет 3 цементных завода? Мне скажите. Нет
Do you know some other regions that have 3 cement factories? There is no such region, right?
Состебе
There are 3 cement factories operating in Shymkent and Sostube.
цементных завода. Для производства цемента нужны только 2 вещи. Вот
2 things are needed to produce cement. These are sandstone and loam.
и суглинок. Суглинок. Суглинка надо.
There should be 1/3 in volume and 2/3 in weight.
Это 2/3.
This is what clinker consists of.
Весь состав клинкера при температуре 1450 градусов получают
Clinker is obtained under the temperature of 1350 degrees. Then it is fine-grained and mixed with 5% of plaster. That is how cement is obtained.
цемент.
This is the technology. And these are 2 types of minerals that give.
2 полезные ископаемые, которые дают.
Cement is used as a binding substance to perform different types of construction works. Everyone knows that without cement, there will be no foundations for buildings. And bricks used to construct walls are also fastened with cement. The type of cement produced at Kazakhstan factories is considered the most popular.
Какие мы имеем? Оригинальные
Which unique deposits are we looking for?
мы месторождения
We have deposits for ceramics.
для
Let's take ceramics.
допустим, для
Please look. This is wollastonite.
волластонит. Волластонит. Вот верхнебадамское месторождение волластонит.
This is Vertnebadamskoye deposit of wollastonite.
На вес
Do you see crystals? Full height crystals.
еще больше.
This is one part of crystals. Why are these wollastonite so good?
Чем они хороши? Волластонитовые кристаллы, волластониты
Wollastonite crystals are used to produce ceramics due to their physical properties.
они, в частности, можно получить
In particular, a very good electric insulator.
изолятор. Волластониты это пути применения.
There are a lot of ways to apply wollastonite. What is the difference between this mineral and the others?
В мире известно 2500 минералов.
There are 2,500 types of minerals in the world, and none of them possesses the same properties as wollastonite does. Begin Yasimov saw the particular properties of this outstanding material in his own experience. The scientist decided to melt the material, and it was melted under the temperature of near 2000 degrees. Then the professor poured the melted mass of red thickened liquid on a steel tray. And as the geologists say, he heard an unusual sound. Several seconds later, the liquid again transformed into crystals. This is power possessed by structure memory of this mineral. It is needed to say that mineral was called by the name of English chemist who lived between 18th and 19th century. His name was William Wollaston. By the way, he also is famous for developing the technology of extracting pure platinum. Wollastonite gained its importance in the middle of the last century. It is used to produce paints, ground coat paints, fillers, rubber, and ceramics. The mineral reduces corrosion of materials and makes the surface wear resistant. It helps to strengthen paints by making them resistant to weather conditions. It is also important to say that South Kazakhstan region possesses deposits of such natural paint as ochre. This is ochre. It is natural paint. Some time ago, we used to buy paint produced in Kentau. It was packed in 3-liter and 5-liter metal cans. They were really heavy. That very paint was made of this raw material, which was grained and mixed with oil. That is how paint is produced. Rust. Yes, you're right. It is rust which went through many years. This is a finished construction material. Do you understand? In order to paint gas pipes, this amount will be enough. Among the minerals used for production of construction materials in South Kazakhstan region, there are not only clay and sand that survived the test of time. In the beginning of the 19th century, a mineral called Vermiculite was discovered. However, at that time, it did not find its use. And 100 years later, it became one of the prospective minerals to be used in many spheres of life. For example, in construction, this mineral is used as a worm keeper, while in agriculture, they use it as a plant fertilizer. This mineral has the following property. As a raw material in the form of crushed rock, it is added to soil. It helps to preserve water. It absorbs moisture and keeps it until being heated. And if we take our soil, in June it becomes hot, with temperature up to 40-46 degrees. For agricultural engineers and agrochemistry, this mineral is very useful. A wide range of minerals and rocks that form this territory have not only economic use for the people, but also provide knowledge about the ancient times. One of the examples are deposits of volcanic glass. Ancient constructors used it to build their houses. Geologists think that it owes its formation to ancient volcanoes located in Kazagurt district of the region. The geographical location of South Kazakhstan region and geological structure of the Earth's crust of this region give huge opportunities for the specialists to further study mineral reserves. While in addition to mineral resources needed for the production of construction materials, the region possesses huge reserves of uranium, phosphates, and iron ores. There are also deposits of polymetallic ores in the region. They are located in the southwestern slope of the Karatau Ridge near the city of Kentau. The iron deposits of Karatau Ridge are notable for their good preparation characteristics and high content of iron. Besides, in the south of the country, there are natural resources that can be used for healthcare and recreation purposes. There are underground waters, as well as thermal and mineral springs. Over 600 million years ago, the Earth's crust of the South Kazakhstan region began to accumulate its resources. The bowels were filled with minerals and natural resources, so that human beings who came to this land could use resources and build modern life in comfortable and warm houses.